Good afternoon. So I've just finished reading a book called The Wonderland Trials by Sara. It's kind of based off the Alice in Wonderland series, but also kind of not. The main character is a girl called Alice Little. She is 16 years old, and the story is written in first person from her point of view and present tense. So in this particular world, Wonderland is kind of like an alternate reality that sounds like it has some basis of like our world, and also some kind of not. It's a little bit confusing that way. But you have people in our world being divided between what is considered normal, or people who don't really have any more unusual abilities, and what they call wonders, who are people who have what they call the wonder gene. So it's a part of people's DNA that grants them particular more supernatural abilities. Like in particular, they actually have an unusual reaction to tea. Like different types of tea can actually give them different abilities. Like think like the original Wonderland book, where like for instance, certain tea might let you shrink or grow really big, or even help you turn into an animal, for instance. So this story originally starts in a kind of futuristic version of London, where there's been this big divide between people with the wonder gene and people who don't. Like the queen required that all people or all wonders had to register, and registered wonders get given this potion that's supposed to make them like harmless or take away their abilities. So you also have groups of wonders who either escape to Wonderland or just somehow live in hiding in the actual world. But there's a lot of both fear - super like suspicion, as well as a kind of curiosity about this alternate reality and the people who have the ability to access it, or have particular more supernatural talents. The main character is really, really fascinated with wonders in general, and in particular, she's interested in something called the Wonderland Trials, which happen, I think it sounds like, every year. So essentially, every year, a group of wonders are invited to participate in a game, and they it's only by invitation, and they participate on one of the four teams, which represent like the four poker card suites, so heart, spade, clover or club, and diamond. But you also get occasional what they call like wildflower invites, which are given to people who don't come from wonder families. So this story takes a little bit more of an unusual twist on the Wonderland like original characters. Like instead of having, for instance, its own version of the Cheshire Cat or like the Mad Hatter, these characters are actually kind of like family groups, like houses. So you have like the Hatter family, and like the Cheshire Cat character has like a family where it sounds like most of them might turn into cats when they take the potion that turns you into an animal. So you have people who have earned a reputation through these games, and also like people who are really just trying to get into it to in order to participate in something more unusual, which I think is the main character's goal, since she's what they call like a normal. So she really wants to participate. Technically feels like she wouldn't have the chance, except that one day like her sister actually gets arrested for being an undercover wonder, which really shocks her, since her sister actually always told her, I guess, that she really hated wonders. And Alice does end up receiving an invitation and has to find her way into Wonderland before time runs out in order to participate in the trials. So this story basically follows her journey into Wonderland, her participation in the Wonderland Trials, and also her discovery of some of the secrets behind Wonderland and behind her sister, the trials, and all the people that she meets. So something I liked about this book was just the more unusual take on Wonderland stuff. Like I liked the quirk with like the different families, and I think just some of the weirdness in the games I thought was entertaining. But I guess I don't know if this is a spoiler alert or not, but I think I just found the story a little unsatisfying because it presented a whole bunch of mysteries and questions, but in the end I feel like it didn't really answer any of them. Like it feels a bit like maybe the prequel to a much longer series as opposed to something that's more self-contained. Like it's possible that it is part of a series, so that feeling might be perfectly justified, but I still typically would prefer more of a sense of closure. Like she went through the games, but I still don't really know much about Alice's history, even though it gave you like all these hints that there's something really big going on. Like there's all these hints of conspiracy, but almost no resolution. Like there aren't a lot of answers, and I really wanted to learn more about things like what happened in the past, what happened to like the people she discovered were disappearing from the trials in the past. Like there were so many questions and just not a lot of answers. But yeah, like overall it was kind of interesting to read, and I would read it if a sequel came out. So yeah, that's basically it for this book.